My wife emptied my cancer treatment money to pay for her son's third attempt at college. So I emptied their closets and kicked them out. When I married Janet 6 years ago, she came with a 20-year-old son named Tyler. He'd already dropped out of college twice, both times after partying away his first semester. Janet paid for both attempts, drained her savings, sold her jewelry, even borrowed from her sister. When we got married, I made it clear I wouldn't fund Tyler's education. He needed to work, save money, prove he was serious. Janet agreed, said she understood. We started building our life together. I worked construction, made good money, put away $1,000 every month into our emergency fund. Janet worked part-time at a dentist's office, contributed what she could. After 5 years, we had $42,000 saved. That money was sacred. It was for real emergencies like job loss, medical bills, house repairs. We both had access, but promised never to touch it without discussing it first. Tyler spent those years doing nothing. He'd work restaurant jobs for a few weeks, then quit because managers were mean. He'd sleep until noon, play video games all night, smoke weed in Janet's basement where he still lived. Janet babied him, made his meals, did his laundry, gave him spending money from her paycheck. I stayed out of it. Not my kid, not my problem. Then 8 months ago, I started feeling sick. Constant fatigue, losing weight, bruising easily. Went to the doctor, got blood work done. Leukemia, treatable but expensive. Insurance would cover most of it, but not everything. The doctor said out of pocket would be around $30,000 for the full treatment. That's why we had the emergency fund. I came home and told Janet. She cried, said everything would be fine. We had the money saved. Treatment started the next week. First round went well. Insurance covered their part. We paid our portion from checking. I was scheduled for 6 rounds total. After my second treatment, I went to transfer money from our emergency fund for the next payment. The account had $400, from $42,000 to $400. I called the bank thinking it was fraud. No, they said. Janet had withdrawn everything in cashier's checks over 3 days, 2 weeks ago. I drove home in shock. Janet was cooking dinner like nothing happened. I asked about the money. She went white, started crying immediately. Tyler had gotten into a private art college, not a real college, one of those for-profit places that accepts everyone. $40,000 for 1 year. He promised this time was different. He was ready to focus. She couldn't let him down again. She was his mother. She actually said she couldn't let him down while I had cancer and needed that money for treatment. I asked how she could do this without talking to me. She said I would have said no. Of course I would have said no. I was fighting cancer, and we needed that money to save my life. She said Tyler's future was important too, that he deserved a chance at success, that maybe my treatment wasn't as expensive as the doctor said. She really suggested my oncologist was exaggerating the cost, while her son was at a fake art school drawing stick figures. Tyler came upstairs then, heard us arguing, asked what the problem was. When I told him his mother stole my cancer treatment money for his school, he shrugged, said I was being selfish, that education was an investment. This kid who'd never finished anything in his life was calling me selfish for wanting to live. I packed a bag and left that night, stayed with my brother James. Janet called crying, saying I was overreacting, that we could figure something out, maybe get a loan. My credit was shot from medical bills. No bank would loan us anything. She knew that. My brother helped me find a lawyer. Divorce papers were filed within a week. Janet tried to fight it, said I was abandoning her in a difficult time. The judge didn't see it that way when he heard she'd stolen cancer treatment funds. The divorce was final last month. I got the house since I'd paid the entire down payment and mortgage. Janet and Tyler moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. Tyler dropped out of his fake college after 1 semester, said the teachers didn't understand his artistic vision. He's back in Janet's basement, except now it's just a corner of their living room. Janet called yesterday begging for money. They're behind on rent. Tyler can't find a job because nowhere appreciates his talents. I reminded her she chose Tyler's 3rd failed attempt at college over my life. That's when she said something that made me drop my phone. She said, I am pregnant. Full story on channel. Link below.